1, 2. Yes, we are on. How are we doing, everyone? Welcome to episode 1 gazillion of the Patreon podcast. I'm sure that joke's going to continue to be hilarious. How are we all doing? I hope you're having a lovely Monday. You haven't worked too hard, or you haven't lost it at the office. Lost it. I thought that was going to rhyme, but it didn't. I've been working all day on a video, so my mind's a little bit melting. There's going to be a new video out this week, and then there'll be a new video out very shortly after Christmas. So I'm very excited. I've been really stressed about it because I've been really worried that it wouldn't be very funny. Because probably like a more normal YouTube creator, I recorded it all in one day, all the footage I needed, and so and I'm going to edit it over the course of 2 days. So I was getting really worried that, because I didn't write anything, and I didn't write any jokes or anything. It was all just live, and I was like, what if it's not funny? But what I've kind of learned is that because I've been editing for so long, I basically edit for like 10 hours a day every day for the last 10 years, last 3 years or so. That if you know all the tricks, you can kind of just make everything kind of silly enough to be funny, just with editing tricks and making things appear and with music cues. And I found that actually if I just relax and record a video and then edit it to shit, it could actually turn out quite funny, which is quite relaxing. So I'm really happy about that. So that's the painting video. I'm going to be doing a video where I paint. I'm not going to give too much more information. I'd like it to be a little bit more of a surprise. And later this week, I'm going to be recording a 500,000 subscriber thank you special, which will be, if I haven't mentioned this, it's going to be me playing New Vegas, like a speed run, where I try and finish the game as quickly as possible without fast traveling, but everything else is on the table. So I can use console commands to do anything but teleport, basically, and I can't fast travel. So I can increase the speed that I run, I can walk through walls, I can click kill all and kill everyone in the area. But because I'm not entirely, and I'm purposefully doing this, I'm not entirely sure how you finish the game or where you need to go first. So I'm going to be sort of rushing around to see how quickly I can do it based on very questionable leads. So that's going to be quite fun. It's a really fun game, and I know quite a lot about it. So it will be edited down massively to like 10 minutes-ish, depending on how it goes. But I imagine it will take me a few hours to kind of work it out, so I'll do all the highlights. And it'll be the same sort of thing. I'm feeling much more comfortable about this idea where I just sit and I try and be entertaining, but I don't try too hard, and then I just use the editing to kind of seamless to break the seams together. So I hope you will enjoy that. I'm really excited to bring you that. So there'll be 2 videos in the next 2 weeks, basically. But I haven't started on my next review because I just feel a bit burnt out at the minute. I'm not really enjoying writing scripts and anything, so I need to take a bit of a break. But you'll get the Red Dead Redemption review probably towards the end of January, very early February. But the idea is it will be better than if I just sort of force myself to make it, and I'm giving you some stuff on the side, which hopefully will keep everyone happy. Having 500,000 people following you is quite stressful. You don't want to let anyone down. It's hard not to let down one of 500,000 people. It looks like why is this breaking? I'm just going to turn the microphone down. There we go, that's better. I think that's better. Sorry about that. So that's that. That's what I'm doing. I'm recording a video with now this looks too quiet. That seems okay. I'm recording a video with H-Bomber Guy, who it's quite sad. Whenever I've worked with him, I get a lot of comments being like, oh, well, he's a such and such in his political views. And my general opinion on that is that he did so much for my channel. Without him, I really don't think my channel would be in the same way. Like, I don't think I'd be making the same sort of videos. I don't think I'd have the same followers. I don't think you guys who are listening would even be here, unless you would join me at the machinima stage. If so, fucking well done for holding on for so long. So I'm grateful for him just on a creative aspect. So I'm happy to work with him, even though apparently his political views are quite questionable. I don't watch his political videos. I only watch the comedy ones, so I don't really pay much attention. So I'm going to be working with him in one of his videos that is coming out very soon. So you can look out for me there. So I'll be in another video as well in January with that as well. And we're doing like a sketch back and forth, so it should be really fun. I'm recording it in the living room, just like how I do my sketches. It will be just like a mini sketch with him, so that'll be really fun. I'm also going to try. I'm also really, I really want to get binging in with Babish. I don't know his name. I've forgotten it. The guy who does the cooking show on the Binging with Babish YouTube channel. I'd like to get him on the channel really badly. I need to start some sort of Twitter campaign to try and convince him. I think he'd be up for it. I've just got to kind of make the first move. I've got Circle Tunes HD in the Red Dead Redemption video, so I'm not looking to rush. I'm going to wait until everything's, because it's going to be. I'll be like, oh, Babish, do you want to be in my video? And I finally get hold of him, and he's like, yeah, all right. And there's no script, and there won't be a script for 2 months, so I have to wait a little bit. So there's that. That's everything that's going on. Another thing I was talking about was I'm trying to employ someone. I don't think I said this exactly. At the start, I was just sort of tentatively considering it, but now I'm very much interested in sort of taking someone. This person will be in the area, though. Someone I know, like a friend, and just sort of like training them to teach them how to edit in my style, and just have some, kind of have a partner, because I can't do it all on my own anymore. So those are all the things that are going on. That's all the sort of stuff. And when that goes through, I'm really hoping to be able to do 2 Let's Plays a week, if possible. So maybe like one on a Friday and one on a Monday or something like that. And so one would be me playing VR, with just a wireless microphone attached to me or something like that. Yeah, that I would have to do that. I'm really not sure of the logistics at all. There wouldn't be like a video cam, it would just be audio and the footage of the game. And I would just do that. I would just play a VR game, just maybe a different one every week. There's lots of free games that are always coming out, lots of free like sort of areas you can mess around in, which I could fill 20 minutes of time, no problem at all, just as a bit of fun. But that would be edited by someone else. I'd upload it to like a shared drive, and then that would be really allow things to work that way. So yeah, there's a lot going on. To make all these expansions, I'm looking to do possibly something I said I would never do, but to make the jump, because the editor would need a computer, a high-end computer with at least an i5 to i7 processor. i5, is that a thing? i5, i7, I don't know. I'm terrible with computers, but basically a processor that's the same as mine, because I know that the rendering time for these Let's Plays is huge if you don't have a high-end computer. So I'm thinking about doing a sponsorship. I have no idea who. I just would like to support someone that I already use, like maybe a game that I really like, just to help with that jump. I said I would never do it, but I'm sort of a bit stuck at the minute. Without that, I can't expand as much as I'd like to. And the only reason I want to do it is so I can make more videos. So I'm quite happy to do it. But I feel like a bit of a liar for saying I wasn't going to do it. But I didn't really realize that if you use the sponsorship money to make more videos, it's kind of okay, I think. But there you are. So we'll see how that goes down. So we're going to do the VR Let's Plays, 2 Let's Plays a week. Hopefully get binging with Babish. That's most of everything. I feel like, again, I'm just talking about myself. There's something that oh no, speaking of binging with Babish, I made his eggnog recipe from his recent video on like Christmas drinks. And Christmas is a good time to have a jolly time. I'm trying out each of his recipes, and I tried eggnog. I was talking about it loads on my Twitter because I got a bit carried away last night. I was very sick. I drank at least like maybe 4 eggs worth of eggnog, because I made it. I know how many eggs are in it and kind of proportion. So I think I drank about 4 eggs in one sitting, as well as that, because it was about half of it. That would be half a cup of cream. So that's like half a quarter of a pint of cream. And a cup of milk, and half a cup of brandy and half a cup of rum. Oh God, I was so unwell. It was the most beautiful. It's a fucking wonderful drink, I tell you, but it is very unpleasant if you have too much. I think it's very surprisingly strong. I thought, oh, you can just drink this, it's fine. It's literally like drinking white chocolate Baileys, but it's probably about 4 times as powerful. So binging with Babish's recipes are always quite expensive and complicated. Not. He uses very good ingredients, so they're always really delicious. They're not that complicated in the way I said that. So because all it is cream, eggs, milk, sugar, and alcohol. So it ends up being absolutely beautiful. I really love all of his recipes, so I'd love to get him on. And I would like to do. I've been thinking as well of doing a like sort of binging with Babish parody just like when the next video comes out, you'll see what I mean with the style and what I'm going for. But I want to do a cooking thing, and maybe make it a series. I don't know if I'm going to make the painting thing a series. You'll see. You can tell me what you think. And there's all of that. I was going to say something else, but I have no idea what it was. Binging with Babish, cooking. I can't leave you hanging because I'm just standing here meandering. So I'll just answer some questions and we'll see where we get. So my friend Gregory Rogers asks me, oh, also, just to extend things even further, I've been saying a long time I'm going to change the format for these, but the last few weeks have been a bit difficult for me, so I haven't had much time to think about changing the format of this podcast, but we will get there. So, Greg Rogers asks, what games are you playing for fun at the moment? It's a two-part question, so we'll start with that. I'm playing Dark Souls 3, which I can highly recommend, but I've stopped, and I was playing Fallout 76, but I've stopped playing that now. What am I playing? I must be playing something. Oh, I'm playing Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which is fucking cool, man. Because I didn't like the Wii or the Wii U. I never really played any of the Smash games between Melee, which is one of my favorite games of all time, to the new one. So there's like literally like 40 new characters, and they're all really diverse, and they have, learning to play as them is actually quite difficult. It's a lot of work. So it just feels like there's an infinite amount of gameplay time. You can learn to fight with all these characters, and fighting with your friends is absolutely crazy. Like when the game came out, people were saying like, see, this is the sort of sponsorship I'd love to do. I'd love to just mention this in a video. See, it's fair. I actually like the game. I'm not just lying. Anyway, sorry. Like people were like walking off the stages while they were playing because the game is just so distracting. Even if it's one-on-one, there is so much shit going on screen. Like the levels are like a mini game in themselves. Some of the levels, like you have to like go to certain parts of the game or do something, because there's like WarioWare levels where you have to do certain things or else you'll take damage. It'll be like, oh well, stay under the umbrella and an umbrella will appear. So you have to keep fighting while staying under the umbrella. It's absolutely brilliant. It's on the Switch, so you can play it in bed, which is pretty much exclusively where I play the Switch, or on the sofa. I've never in a year of having a Switch, I have never plugged it into its dock. I have only ever played it handheld. It's such a fucking great console. So that's really fun. It's absolutely insane. It's always fun. It gets you really excited. You start screaming. I've unlocked Dark Samus, which makes me the happiest person in the world, because Samus is my main. I'm trying to make my new main the Wii Fit Trainer, because I unlocked the Wii Fit Trainer and was like, what the fuck is this? Like, who in their right mind is going to play as the Wii Fit Trainer? And I played as her once, and she's fucking hilarious. Like, every time she makes a move, she'll like shout like a yoga pose or some sort of like exercise move. And my favorite move is where she like jumps into the air and headbutts a Wii Fit ball, and it like bounces all over the stage and smacks into people. It's so funny, just because she's like the way that she's designed is like to be the perfect person. Like she's got, and you can be the man as well. Like her skin like glows, and she's really thin, so she comes across as like the perfect person. That she like jumps into the air and headbutts a ball into like Bowser's face, and the whole thing is fucking ridiculous. So it's really fun. Can very highly recommend. What else? I must be playing something else. I've been playing Hotline Miami 2. The only reason I really liked Hotline Miami is for the music, and now that it's a sequel, the music's different. I'm not really that interested. I find it quite boring, which is a shame. And I also have a new VR headset, which I won't say what it is, just because I was told there was a review embargo, so I don't really want to say anything. But I've been sent a new VR headset to review, and I won't give my thoughts either. So I've been playing that a lot. I'm trying to think, what can I say? It's very different. I'm expected to wear it in my new videos, but I'm very, very reluctant to. But when it all comes out, I'll decide what to do. I might have to send it back, because if you've been basically, if you get sent something for a review, generally you have no problem reviewing it. But sometimes I think if I've been using it, and I'm like, I can't make an interesting video out of this. So you're just a bit fucked, because like if you were just a website or just a review channel, you could be like, oh, I'll just bash out a quick review in a couple of days. You know, I can't think of anything interesting, so I'll just give it a basic review. Whereas I'm not really comfortable doing that, so I might have to send it back or something. I really don't know. I just use it and I'm like, oh, I just don't have anything to say. You know, sometimes you just have no thoughts on something, so it's a bit difficult. So we'll see what happens with that. God knows, really. So those are what I'm playing for fun. I'm trying to get back into Skyrim VR. Just that the only thing about VR is it's because the space where I work is very, very small. I need my powerful computer to edit my videos. So if I want to play VR, I literally have to move my entire computer, as well as the base stations, set it up, reset up all the calibrations and stuff. And so it's just really difficult. So I'm just not really playing at the minute. So I'm not really playing any VR. Basically, the most technologically advanced gaming thing in the world is just like in a cupboard somewhere, and I just can't be bothered to play it because it's too much effort. So hopefully one day it will get better, so it's a bit easier to do, but I don't know. So that's what I'm playing at the fun. Greg playing for fun at the moment. Greg Rogers also asks, can we get a Q&A with all of a vaguely applicable questions from Emma too? So I think that means I'm going to ask Emma the questions that you have asked me, and I would like to get her involved in one of them. So I will be doing that soon. I'll just get her to sit down with me and we can have a chat. You can learn about all the dysfunctions in our relationship and how much we secretly hate each other. And then he also asked, what sort of roast dinner did you have? I've been asked this numerous times recently. I didn't know I'd mentioned that I was having roast dinner. I can't remember. It was probably a chicken. But here's a recipe for you. So this is a Jamie Oliver recipe. If you ever want to make a roast meat, this is the nicest roast meat I've ever had. I'm just thinking. Maybe short of like a roast beef that's really well cooked, you know, a really fancy piece of beef that's pink in the middle. Oh my god! But this is absolutely beautiful. It's you get a belly of pork. Welcome to the cooking hour, and you slice into the skin, down to the. You don't cut the meat, but you go down to the meat, but you don't cut the meat, and then you fill all of the gaps. So you know we're talking cuts, you know, basically like a centimeter apart from each other. So quite a few along the skin of the belly of pork. If I said. Yes, this is belly of pork, sorry. And then you make a mixture of fennel seeds and salt. And you grind that together and you massage that into the gaps. You get as much as you can in there. Not too much salt or else you won't be able to eat the crackling. And then you cook that. So basically just for hours and hours. You start at a very high temperature and then you lower it. It's a Jamie Oliver recipe, so you'll be able to find it. If you want to try this, I highly recommend it. And the way that the fennel and the skin go together, it's just the most delicious flavor because fennel is beautiful and not many people cook with it, so it's quite, you know, it's quite unusual. You're not used to that taste either. So oh my god. So that's not the roast dinner I had, but I wish I did. So there you are. That's what I want. Because Patrick Jackson asks, what do you have with your roast, and what roast was it? So I think I must have mentioned something. I'll just have horseradish with everything. People are like, because you're meant to have it with beef. I'll have it with every aspect. I don't know if Americans really eat roast dinners. Like British people generally have a roast dinner every week on a Sunday, and that will consist of roast potatoes, a roast meat of some kind. So it's usually a chicken or beef, maybe lamb. Sometimes it's pork, like a pork belly, and then it'll be gravy, and then vegetables, which is usually carrot and peas. I like cauliflower cheese. People probably are like, what the fuck is that? So that's just, that's just cauliflower and a cheese sauce that's baked in the oven, and it's fucking beautiful. I have brown sauce as well in my roasts. I love brown sauce. I think I'm beginning to sound extraordinarily British. I think that's it, isn't it? You've got roast potatoes, veg, meat. Oh, and Yorkshire puddings, which are like batter that's baked in the oven until it goes crispy. So there you go. Sounds really weird when I talk about it like that, but there you go. So that's what, and that's what I usually have. I will basically have I love all sauces. So I'll have ketchup. No, I'll have mustard, brown sauce, horseradish, cranberry sauce. I'll just have it all at the same time. I absolutely love it. So I'm pretty easy with that sort of stuff. So there you are. This is like I'm talking absolute garbage. So someone has the next person who has asked the question. I have been repeatedly getting their name wrong, and I'm just opening the video. Oh god, I'm making sure, just very quickly. I'm not wasting your time. Just trying to find the right video to get his name right. So Leo asks, do you have any wacky college, university stories? I've kind of messed up a little bit here because I'm trying to find a video and answer a question that requires me thinking at the same time. Oh God, the pressure. I can't handle it. Right, here we go. So, sorry people, I'm just opening the video now because I can't think of any stories.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, and there's me talking, and I've opened the wrong video again. What is going on? Right, so Leo, I'm sorry. You were like, it's Leo McCaffrey, and I was saying McCaffrey. I've frozen a little bit, I have to say. So, funny university stories. I'll get started with one. How about the time... No, that's illegal. How about... I don't want to admit to anything illegal on this. The time... So, I did chemistry. Nothing really that weird happening. Oh, there was a... So, I did a... I've got loads of this stuff. Because at uni, I was a fucking moron. Like, I sort of grew up very late. So even though I was doing chemistry and I was working in sort of labs where it's quite serious, you know, you're working with obviously you're working with chemicals that are fairly dangerous, you're heating things to higher temperatures, you've got toxic chemicals everywhere. Like the stuff that university students can access you can get most of the pretty deadly stuff. Like we would use cyclohexane, you'd have to be careful with it. I believe that's what it is, cyclohexane. Which is I'm just checking its toxicity. I think this is the one, no, toluene, that's it, I've just remembered, which I think is cyclohexane. Sorry, I'm all over the place. Toluene, cyclohexane. No, it is something different. So toluene, I've just remembered, smells like semen. I'm a bit off topic here, this isn't what I was going to talk about, but it smells absolutely disgusting. And I'm just trying to, and the really weird thing about, and this is true, it's all coming back to me, I think it makes you sterile, which is just the most ridiculous sort of, you would never, it's like the chemical that smells of semen makes you sterile, but I will never forget that. Ooh, recreational use. Toluene is used as an intoxicative inhalant. Ooh. Oh, it's like, so they use it in paint thinner. They must use small amounts because it's pure. I'm sure this is what it is. I'm going to find out its toxicity. The environmental and technological effects of toluene have been extensively studied. Inhalation of toluene causes tiredness, nausea, loss of appetite. Some of these symptoms may... I might be wrong. Where's the fucking... sterile? No. Oh, that's really annoying. Is it not toluene? Toluene, sterile. Yeah, no. When you can Google a chemical and then a word like sterile and you get loads of responses. Basically, there's a chemical, it might be cyclohexane, that is toxic and causes sterility, but it also smells like semen. But to the point where, you know, if it's a jar's open in a table in a room, and you enter the room, you smell it immediately and like, oh, what's been going on in here? But no, it is absolutely horrible. So the point being is that you can use any chemical, all these horrible chemicals that make you sterile. Hexane was used regularly as a medium to make, as an organic solvent to do reactions, and that causes cancer. So it's not used anymore. But back in the day, you know, grab the hexane. We're going to do an experiment. So we get all the dangerous chemicals and stuff. But I got to uni and I couldn't wash my own clothes because I was a fucking useless asshole. But and I never took any of it seriously. I was always hungover in labs. I was always half asleep. And in my first year of doing my dissertation, so this was in the third year of my uni, I was given a chemical called silver nitrate, which I do remember. This is the correct name. I haven't forgotten the chemical. Silver nitrate is toxic. It's one of the highest levels of toxic that a chemical can be given a classification. I'm just having a look now. Where's its thingy-majig? It's got a thing, but so it has. Here we go. Yeah, I forgot. I'm looking at the things I was looking for, and I'm like, oh, here's the hazard box, and I have no idea what any of it means anymore. But basically, it's corrosive, toxic, and damaging to the environment. So if it gets into water, it will kill all the animals and the marine life and all this sort of stuff. And so the first day using it, I left the lab. So basically, I was using it in experiments. So I was inside like a fume cupboard, which is just like a box that you can put your arms in, a little bit like what you would see Homer using at the start of The Simpsons, but you can use your hands. You put your hands inside, and then it sucks air upwards, so you don't breathe it in. And so I used my fume cupboard, is what it is. I had one for myself. I went away and came back the next day, and it was completely black. You could see like handprints, and you could see puddles of. Well, it wasn't puddle, you know. It was just like as if a puddle had been there and then turned that area black. So it was like a circle of black, and it was all over. It was on the floor. My shoes had turned black, and what it was, if you dissolve this stuff in a liquid, then obviously it can get anywhere. And if it touches it, it turns it black. So my hands had also turned black, I remember now. And I was like, oh, shit. So I had basically touched it, put it everywhere, somehow got it. I sometimes didn't apparently use gloves, which was really fucking stupid. So I had it on my hands. I actually had some on my face as well. Part of my face turned black. And so I went on this sort of personal... no consequence ever came of this. I don't know why, but it just nothing happened. No one ever said anything. I think maybe it was common. I don't fucking know. So I did this huge... it's because silver nitrate is an oxidant. An oxidant means that, if I get this right, if it's an oxidant, then that means it reduces other things. Yeah, so it gives away electrons to things. So unless it's a reductant, I don't really remember. But anyway, so it would give, if it is an oxidant, it would give electrons to anything it touched, which would just sort of break it down. Even pulling electrons away or giving electrons to an object, break it down either way, just in different ways. It's like how an acid and an alkaline will corrode things. Even, you know, you always think of acids as corroding things, but alkaline do as well. It's the same with oxidants and reductants or whatever. I know Greg is listening to this, my friend who is also a chemist, so he's going to be like immediately messaging me like, Matt, you're full of shit. It's just like, yes, I make videos now and I have been doing it for 3 years. I don't know any science, but anyway, so I went on sort of like a personal discovery route to try and find out if I was going to die, effectively. And I read all this. I actually found a paper. So even though it is an oxidant, and it does turn stuff black, and it is corrosive, I found a paper on someone who had basically like worked with silver nitrate their whole life, or studies on people who had, and had you know, accidentally ingested it and stuff. And apparently all it did, this is in huge inverted commas, all it did, was change the color of their organs. So I guess this was during autopsies, because they do a lot of studies on different chemicals, and when they know people have ingested large amounts, they can look into it. It's never killed anyone, because I'm still here, so it's fine because I got it everywhere. And people who had known to ingested it just had different colored organs. And I remember very clearly reading that the color change of the organs had no negative effect on the person whatsoever. So all it did, huge inverted commas, was change the color of their organs. But who cares about that? They're inside you. Who gives a fuck? So maybe my organs are a bit black. I only used it for a year, so it's very unlikely that I ingested it enough to do anything. I probably didn't ingest any. I'd be very surprised. But that would be the side effect. So there's a wacky story. I'll do another one next week. I have quite a few of these. It was a 4-year period, and I was stupid the entire time, so I did a lot of fucking weird stuff. So that's that. So I ruined my shoes. There was like a footprint of it. I don't know how I must have like spilled, because it was dissolved in a liquid. And then it basically, I think I was probably using water as well. So I didn't really think much of it. I was like, oh well, it's just water. So when I splashed a bit of water, maybe some splashed on the floor, it just gets everywhere, So that was why everything started turning black as it got corroded. Or reduced by the silver nitrate. Whether or not everything, for the love of God, don't. This is all very poor memory by my part. All of this might not be true, but this is what I went away with. Maybe the silver nitrate damaged my brain, and I've just invented all of this. But from what I remember, that's what I read, because I was very worried, so did a lot of reading on the subject. But it seemed like it's fine. I'm really curious as to what the chemical that smells like semen is. I'm just going to type in cyclohexane sterile and see if we can work that out. Sterile, you just get sterile filtration, which is just a form of thing. I'm sure there was, I'm sure there is chemicals that cause sterility. I'm going to get a very strange search history out of the result of this. Sterilization. radioactive effects caused by biological, the role of poisonous chemicals. All right, I don't think this is really going to go in. It's probably, you know, there's probably thousands of chemicals that cause sterility. I am a good scientist. Right, we're done anyway. That's over. Next time I will tell you about the time I went to university drunk. I didn't work in the labs drunk though. That was very important that I make that very clear. I was only ever hungover, but not drunk. So you can't arrest me. I hope you have a lovely weekend. I'm going to regret uploading this to the internet. I know I am. Bye!